Usha Krishnan is my guest here on We Connect today. She's the president of the World Crafts Council. They've just held a hugely successful event here in the city, and we're talking to her about that and about craftspersons, what it's all about. Now, Usha, we were talking earlier about people who actually visit. Let's talk about the people who are focal to this whole crafts movement, the artisans themselves. Now, how do you find them? How do you kind of muster them? How do you build their confidence? How does it work?
Actually, as you say, I think the main person in this whole thing is the craft person.
Yes, absolutely.
And the livelihood of the crafts person, how to improve the livelihoods of our crafts people. And because once you see that they have a better livelihood, I think the crafts will also survive. So I think these are the issues that we keep debating, talking about. And still, I don't think we have a formula how to do it in the best way. But I think we are looking at how to make the craftsmen a better livelihood and status improvement in their
and how to organize them, I suppose, really. Is that the key, Usha? Is that
I don't know whether organization is the key, because sometimes we have done, I have personally seen a craftsperson going from without the craft dying to making the same product for a contemporary market, and it was culture teas that we had done.
Right.
And the culture teas were selling extremely well, and then instead of one person working on the culture teas, he got a whole group of people who he was able to give jobs to. Then he started working on those culture, and then he got a fantastic offer from Japan for a very large order.
Wow.
And of course, handmade things take long. They don't understand that you want 3,000 pieces like this.
You can't get 3,000 identical pieces.
He couldn't, so he couldn't take the order. But it was, I think it was a morale boosting experience for him. But after all that, he comes back to me and he says, yeah, I'm doing well, I have 10 people working with me, but you think my son can get a job in your factory?
Oh.
And that is when I said, okay, you know, I feel totally lost when I've been working. We have tried to start from basic raw material for you, how to get a lathe for you so that the drudgery of work is brought down. We have done, and you're working with so many people and you've got new designs, you've got everything now. Why do you do this? He says there's no status for a craftsman in this country.
That is the key.
That is the key.
That's so sad, isn't it?
Because then he was making money. It wasn't making, not that he was not making money, he was making money. But then he said there's no status, because a factory worker gets more status than I do. So although he was a craftsperson who had fantastic craft, I think what we definitely need to do in this country or any other countries like us is to see that the status of the craftsperson are elevated.
But would you say that that's done very well in the US?
Or no? No, I wouldn't say.
Really?
I think the status is there, surely. But I think, you know, I would one day like to say that a craftsman can stand shoulder to shoulder with a businessman and be comfortable about it. Can we say that? I don't think we can.
No,
we can't say that.
That's a long way off.
That's a long way off. But I think if you at least say that that is where we want them to go, because I have been talking to German craftspeople.
Right.
They are a very well-connected European World Craft Council Europe, and I keep asking them, do you feel that the craftsmen in your country are equal to the businessmen there? Right. They said no. And you ask this question in America, they say, only now finally people have started waking up the fact that handmade is very important and the future is handmade. I think this thing was coined in Europe, the future is handmade, by the Prince Claus Foundation.
Right.
Who said that future is handmade. From that's where we took this theme for our seminar to be future is handmade.
Right, but I was under the impression that you can go anywhere overseas to any country, and when something is handmade, it costs a bomb, it costs a fortune. So I'm just thinking, I'm going back to the point where you talked about money. It's not about money, it's about acceptance, right?
No, even there, I think they are accepted as, okay, the products are selling, but even there, the marketing is a major problem even for them. So we talk about marketing in our country. Marketing meaning selling. Are they selling very well? No, everybody, finally you ask any of our craftsmen, what do you want? I want a good market. Yes. Once that is gone, then they talk about the status. First everybody wants, but status even in America, everywhere, what I am looking at is that he should be making enough money and he should have a status where he can say, I'm at the same level as somebody is doing a business or an exporter, something like that. So I think it will come. It's slowly coming, and I think the whole world is waking up to the fact that future is handmade. Handmade products definitely have a better appeal to the mass.
That's right, because people are willing to,
yes,
pay for something that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
And this is one of the reasons we went to schools to go to sensitize children in that age to the handmade crafts. And because once they start working with the hands, we found that the children took about 3 weeks to make a little basket. And then we asked them to sell those baskets in a little workshop in their own school. Their parents, their friends came. They said, you price these products and see how much labor has gone. So all these little exercises were done for them. And then they realized that they wanted to cost something 15 rupees, 20 rupees. Then they said, is it too much? Their mother said, is it too much, too little? Because parents, of course, buy because the children have done it. But then they realized that, this realization that you pay something which is hand done, if it is inculcated in children when they are young, then when they grow up, they don't have to then think that, oh, it is handmade, so I have to pay for it. It automatically gets embedded in their minds, actually. So many people did ask me, you want these people to become craftspeople, you're going to schools? No, that was not the idea at all. It was to sensitize the children.
Create an awareness, really.
Awareness, and to see that they understand what handmade is and that you pay a price, to hear the craftsman stories and listen to their, both the positive, negative stories and what all the kind of trials and tribulations that craftspeople go through. And I think if you are able to do this for the children, so I think this is where we need to stand, the younger.
Yes, quite right. Were the kids enthusiastic when you actually got down to the schools? Because not that many of our schools concentrate on getting children to work with their hands and make things.
We have gone to about 7 schools in Chennai.
Okay.
And
what response?
Good response. All the schools we have gone is very good response. But not everybody says, oh, that's why we are taking the 6th, 7th and 8th where they don't have major exams coming and things like that. So after that they have their exams, so the parents don't want to come. But here is again, the schools pay for the teacher. For the teacher meaning the craftsperson. It's not much, the day thing, and they give them lunch and tea and all that. So but with all this fee structure differences coming through the board, some of them now are saying that should we do this, and we are supporting 2-3 schools ourselves.
Oh really?
We're getting funds because they're not able to pay the thing, so we are doing for 2-3 schools. The rest of the schools pay themselves, and then they are very, very happy. They're very happy.
It's also something different for the children to be concentrating on rather than just books and maths and science and computer science.
I personally think they should all work with their hands. Absolutely. I totally believe in that.
Absolutely, yes.
And I think what the only difference is that they do have some craft classes with them. What we are now trying to do is they are looking at a traditional craft, not paper cutting or embroidery alone, but looking at a traditional craft which was not happening earlier, which is probably dying, or something that the craftsmen can come and teach them. And we also choose crafts that children can easily do.
Right. Sadly, Usha, coming up for another short break, but we'll get right back with you here and reconnect. So please stay tuned to us.